7.3 kilometres to go. 1:29. Well, here we are. The chase. The chase 3 is for the bronze medal, and it is, of course, between Schelmos and Ben Healy. Man out front. Well, we've been saying for a while that he's hard to close down, and he's extending the lead now, Brian. It is up to 1:30. Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, no real surprise there. I was just looking at where Urska Zegard finished yesterday. She was just outside the top 10.
Yeah, I think so. Possibly 9th. I'll double check.
Yeah, she's just waiting for her partner, Tadej Pogacar, at the finishing line there.
Schelmos and Ben Healy, a battle for bronze. They're going to start cat and mousing. They've got a little bit of a cushion to endure or enjoy this battle. Still don't know who's going to get it. I would say from distance, Ben Healy would be the favoured one, but Schelmos, he's got a bit of a kick on him. He's not a bad time trialist in his own right, let's not forget. Ben Healy also got a bit of a time trialling head. It's how they cope with the climb, because there's not going to be much kick left between the pair of them, Brian, at the end.
No, I think it's going to have the strongest legs in there. I'll just update because we're concentrating on the medals at the moment, but going across the line behind the Healy Schelmos group was another group containing Ciccone, Ayuso, Squinch, Del Toro, Eulalio, Roglic. Sexas was just behind. Pidcock was at 6:33. Away back to Jan Christian now, 17 riders, 7.5 minutes. So even Tom Pidcock has gone further back. So there's a group of 5 riders: Eulalio, Del Toro, Squinch, Ayuso, and Ciccone.
Well, it'll be a top 10 that they will be thinking about, and I think that counts for an awful lot. Possibly even a top 15 or 25. You go figure. It might be that 25 is about the cut-off today, because it's all going to be on timings. Anyone who's still active, I think, will get a finish, because there is no laps to be repeated. We are coming up to our finish, and Tadej Pogacar is going to ride this one home. He's got 7 kilometres to complete. It's been a very, very long day, an arduous one. Some say the hardest World Championship course that there has ever been. Over 5,300 metres of altitude gain, extended over an enormous distance of 267.5 kilometres at altitude, with humidity, and with a fantastic field of riders, all determined to give their very best from whatever nation they come from. Some, of course, have higher expectations, and none heavier than the defending champion. And Tadej Pogacar has stood up into the spotlight and has shone brilliantly, a green light on everything.
Yeah, he has. You know, you're talking about all the negatives of altitude, humidity, you know, probably the hardest, the elevation gain, everything like that. They're already kind of celebrating their second world title, but what they have had is probably one of the best crowds at World Championships I've ever seen.
Been amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'd like to say I think Yorkshire probably had a good crowd, but got washed out by some torrential rain.
Yeah, there was that a little bit, but I just think that the Rwandans have just been celebrating cycling instead of just, you know, concentrating on the Rwandan cyclists. They're just happy for this event to be here, and you know they've been doing this all day, all week. You know, for everybody. Yeah, everybody that I've been in contact, I've been here, the crowd's been amazing. You know, the support. Normally you come to a World Championship, you support, you know, your country. Well, they're supporting every country.
They are. There was a moment there where I thought Remco's head had dropped and he was not issuing an oath, but just getting a little bit upset. He needs to be proud of what he's achieved today. This has been absolutely magnificent. It's been a privilege to watch him. Nothing is easy, especially in the world of absolute elite sport, and that's what we're watching at the moment. There may be a big gap between Tadej Pogacar and everybody else, but Remco Evenepoel had the beating of him in the time trial, and indeed is potentially heading for a silver medal here, provided nothing silly still happens to him. He's got a margin of getting on for 50 seconds, around about that, between himself and the battle for bronze. And here it is, Chelmos and Ben Healy. Ben Healy been hanging on the back wheel for a while. This is quite a way out to be already in this position. But, you know, they'll feel like they're closer to home than perhaps they are, Brian. There's still quite a way for them to go.
I can remember watching the Worlds last year, and I was kind of dipping in and out, as you do, in a long race. And you can see that Pogacar went through a difficult patch. Well, I don't think he's done anything wrong today. He's looked infallible, so no weakness whatsoever.
Healy's testing. He's actually come to this climb, Brian. He was sitting on the back wheel for quite some time. This is an attempt to shake off Chelmos. I think he'd quite like to finish without having to put up with the sprint. And this is his first move. There's 2 bike lengths, possibly 3 bike lengths. Oh, and there's bye-bye medal for Chelmos by the looks of things. And Ben Healy, he knew that he had to shake him off. It was a question of when he was going to do it. He'd taken an awful long time to hang on the back wheel of Matej Chelmos, and I'm afraid for the Dane that this looks like he's been outthought here by Ben Healy, who's kicked on. It's just a question of legs, you might say, but it's a little bit more than that. You've got to have some planning in there. You've got to be ruthless as well. And Ben Healy has struck out here for a bronze medal. He wants to be on that podium, and he's going to earn it. What a fantastic move it was, Brian.
Yeah, he did this in Tour of Luxembourg. I did just before this race, where both of these riders were riding, but that's just what Healy does. He just goes to the front and starts to grind away. At this stage of the competition, it's about what you have left in the legs, and Ben Healy's just got that little bit more left in the legs than Chelmos, and you know he'll be wanting to grab this bronze medal for Ireland.
Yes, he will. That familiar riding style of his, where he just tips his head towards one side, and in fact imposing himself brilliantly here. Chelmos, not all over for him, but 4.2 kilometres, it must feel like it. His national car and his team came up to have a brief word, trying to instill a sense of urgency to him, but it may only be displayed as a modest margin, but it's getting bigger here, as you can see. And it is a widening gap, and we have medals defined by the looks of things. And as always, it seems to be on the climbs of this circuit, Brian.
Yeah, it's been an amazing championship and a display of dominance from Pogacar. He's taken back-to-back victories. You know, you have to say that Evenepoel has been through the rack, you know, come out the other side, but it's been a long, long wait for Ireland to get onto the podium in this race. Wow. The last time was
Sean Kelly back in the day.
You talked about it earlier. 1989 in the Chambéry with Greg LeMond winning from Dmitry Konishev. So way back in Chambéry when that happened, that was 36 years ago.
Sean
a long wait.
Whenever we go there, Sean Kelly still gets upset. Thought he would have won that day. Greg LeMond said he had bad legs and turned it round into very, very good legs. Well, what a piece of achievement to celebrate. Ireland have been on the top step, of course, in the past as well, Brian.
2 years before, 1987.
There we are. Well, right now, Ben Healy, it's been a long old gap for a medal at the Worlds, and he's going to get one. So it'll be Lincoln Green, I guess you might say. Actually, that's in England. What am I talking about? What do they call the Green of Ireland?
Emerald.
Thank you.
Emerald Isle.
That's right, the Emerald Green. Thank you very much. We have the Green of Slovenia that is going to come to the fore, though, however. 2.3 kilometres to go until this man turns green into rainbows. Absolutely remarkable. Remco Evenepoel is, as predicted by Brian with his amazing crystal ball, a minute and a half down. It might well be that Tadej Pogacar wants to make this as big as possible. If you can make this 2.5 minutes, that would be a real statement after the time trial.
It would be, but probably a little bit more, just to dig in a little bit. But yeah, no, the crowd at the finish are wait. So does Urska Ziegard, his partner. She had a credit to her. She had a good ride yesterday in the women's race. She was in the thick of it towards the end. But she's waiting for her champion. Over the last year, we've only ever seen him in a leader's jersey or the world jersey, and it's going to be another year like that, you feel.
Remco is enjoying this little bit of respite on the descent. He's now got to power himself up to bring it home. He's going to come to the cobbles here. He's being shown the gap on the chalkboard. Meanwhile, already engaged at the top part of this climb is Tadej Pogacar himself. Remco holding station around about 1.5 minutes down, and the celebrations amongst the Slovenian crew have already begun. Congratulations to them. They had a big battle plan. They came here with the biggest team, 9 riders, 8 plus the world champion. That's what you're allowed. They brought them all. They used them absolutely beautifully, but still the big question has to be answered. And part of it began to reveal itself with 100 kilometres to go. What an amazing tale. Tadej Pogacar does it again, and from distance, an amazing gap. Yeah,
it's, and I can remember the scenes last year. Okay, it was different conditions. Today it's nice and sunny. The whole team were there, throwing Pogacar in the air. You know, they won the world title for the first time ever. You know, they're celebrating. They came here with high expectations. Okay, the time trial didn't go as well as expected, but this has gone absolutely to plan.
Absolutely remarkable. He's had a hell of a season as Tadej Pogacar. Tour de France, of course, went his way. He pulled out of La Vuelta very, very late on. Wanted to concentrate on retaining the rainbow bands, which, of course, it looks like he's going to be wearing next year as well. What on earth can stop him? He could probably run it home from here. But he's on the cobbles for the last time. On the rack, you might say, the entire field behind him. He is going to finish alone, and he is going to finish from such an incredible distance where he started this drive for the line and for glory. And look at the smile. It is a smile that's bursting through the grimace here, Brian.
Yeah, I think, you know, the first time you win a major title, I was fortunate to win a British title twice. The first time, it's great, you know, it's new, but the second time it's about taking it in more, and I think that's what Pogacar is doing. He's got that 1.5 minutes. He can take it, he can breathe a little bit. He's done the job for the second time, and I think this will be slightly extra special from him. You know, he did go through the emotions last year. He went through a difficult period, but for Pogacar to come back, you know, from last year and win this in a dominant fashion, this is extra special.
Tadej Pogacar is bringing home his second consecutive World Road Race title. So much has been placed at the table of this man, but he has to pick it up every single time, and he did so from an incredible distance. 100 kilometres out, he imposed himself on this race, as he has done on the entire world of cycling. Ever since, as a young man, he rocked into our consciousness. He has stayed there, rock and roll all the way to the line. Tadej Pogacar in charge of his own destiny constantly, it seems. He measures himself against the very best and finds himself in clear space with nobody around him. It's become something perhaps he should get used to, but it doesn't. Him enjoying the moment